Hello everyone and welcome to this full moon forecast for June 4th. This is a full moon in sidereal Scorpio where we see the lunar mansion Jyeṣṭhā. Jyeṣṭhā meaning elder represents an elder, people who have gained knowledge, who have gained power, and oftentimes secret knowledge, secret power. That's very much what Scorpio is all about. And Scorpio is the most transformative sign in many ways, but I think we often think of transformation only in terms of going through change, going through a process of turmoil around that as well. But really transformation can also be experienced and perhaps more profoundly experienced through stillness. And so this is also what Scorpio represents. It's a fixed sign. It's the sign of change, yes, but it's also about that transformation that we experience when we don't allow the mind to go off in its usual catastrophizing mode. The moon in Scorpio can do that for sure. We can definitely get into that kind of negative thinking mode. But when we can also just settle into beingness and just observe the mind and how it goes into whatever thought it goes into, that's actually more transformative than anything else. And this is now the potential for this full moon. So a full moon at the very end of Scorpio in this Jyeṣṭhā lunar mansion, a lunar mansion that's very much about overcoming challenges and, gaining back control. Jyeṣṭhā is ruled by Indra, the chief of the gods, and it's associated with the planet Mercury. So there's a lot of ability here. There's a lot of skill sets. Maybe you can just correlate that also with the secret world that goes on inside our heads, in our hearts. And we're always going through a process. We're always going through a battle of some kind or other. But as we battle it out, literally, we can see that being reflected in the world at large in more obvious ways. But we can also draw that attention back into our own inner conflict, but again further, deeper into our stillness, which is actually, again, a more profound experience of Scorpio. So that's the potential for this full moon in Scorpio. And, there are many other potentials. One of the other things that's happening is that Mars, which rules Scorpio, is in Cancer at the time. And though that, in a general sense, represents a sort of angst and volatility, overcompensating for a sense of lack and then pushing harder than needs be, the exchange that's happening between Mars in Cancer and Moon in Scorpio for this full moon is a powerful one, adding to this need to overcome mental and emotional challenges. So whatever about what's happening in the world, we are going through our own process now, and we can channel that in a more positive way for ourselves and learn the skills that are required to be able to do that and to overcome those challenges and to recognize actually that between our hopes and our fears, and the fears being Scorpio before we get to a more hopeful space in Sagittarius, there is a stillness. There is this point in astrology called Gandant, that is this unraveling of these knots, the junctures between the water and fire signs. And the Scorpio-Sagittarius juncture in particular is one of those key points in the zodiac where it does challenge us, but the challenge itself is the fuel to help us through it. We really need that sense more than ever with the chaos, it seems, in the world, which is just reflective of the chaos within us. As within, so without. As above, so below. So this is a time to channel that energy of Scorpio in a more positive way, to rise like the eagle, not to allow fear grind you down, but instead to soar above. So I hope that's been of help. Wishing you all the best for this full moon, an intense full moon, no doubt, in Scorpio. And until next time.